path of Neo is story-driven action game. If you can look past some of the animations and some design decision, it is still a great game. There are slight variations between the platforms, and if you can, even on PC, the PS2 version is superior when emulated. PC version is missing a lot of effects and details that the console ports have. You will be playing the story of the whole trilogy from the point of view of Neo. Few missions added between here and there that blend with the original story good enough. The game has nothing else to offer except the story mode and replaying the same levels. Gameplay consists hand-to-hand combat with variation of melee weapons and also with a variation of ranged weapons. If you are familiar with the Matrix, you will know exactly what kind of kung fu style hand-to-hand combat is in the game. From the end of first movie onwards, you are extremely powerful, as you should be. Ranged and melee action is well balanced and neither is a bad choice. Enemies consists mainly from security guards, police and army 2 agents, later on mainly Agent Smiths. As you learn new moves and your focus, which is the bullet time's name, you have the enormous advantage as you can keep the time slowed most of the time. This also boosts your accuracy when shooting and damage when fighting, while adding few special moves and multiple enemy attacks. Controls work well on the PlayStation 2 version. Everything is smooth, and in case you forget some combos, the game prompts finishing moves on the screen. Weapon aiming is the thing that took a time to get used to, as you have no ability to freely aim. Instead, when you press right trigger, it locks on enemies. From there on, you choose enemy with your right stick and fire with first right trigger. After getting used to this, works fine, especially when a lot of effects are basically making you blind. For the sake of humanity, if enemy gets close enough, when you are firing, your character automatically kicks him or her in the air and away. When you are not shooting, you are fighting with your hands, staff, sword, or other variation of those. Everyone familiar with the movies knows you can't fight agents with bullets, so it is a good thing that the melee combat is simple and very satisfying, with a lot of cool factor. Fighting happens with few buttons and left stick, making variations to the combos. Game gives you these upgrades step by step as you learn to, for example, fly. Everything is made perfectly clear and you have all the tools to fight like the one. Multiple enemies make fighting harder, but not in the wrong way. Controls and I still work perfectly in these situations. Either ranged enemies waiting for their friends to move away from you and open fire, or joining into the brawl where they then try to grasp you behind while others attack from sides or front. Focus gives you a possibility to block all the attacks from every direction if you time your attacks correctly and then do a lot of combos and direct damage to enemies. Or if you prefer clearing enemies, there are few very long distance knockbacks. Graphics for the time are good enough. There definitely are better looking games for PS2. I do have to say the hand animations are forgotten sometimes and characters' hands look like duck's feet. Cloth physics are well done and they follow your character very well, comparing that these were done in 2004. PC version can look very bland at times as there aren't a lot of visual effects that the console versions have. But there is a lot higher resolution. Best result you get when playing your console version on PC emulator, where you can get best of the both. Fighting animations are very well done and represent the fighting of the movies extremely well. Those cause this game to look fantastic when you are fighting, for example, multiple enemies. Using focus shows all the bullets flying in slow motion and lets you dodge them and see your character rolling past the air exploding behind the bullet. Audio-wise, combat sounds good, but lack of background music sometimes makes it feel less urgent. When there is music, it is often taken from the movies and placed to the set pieces from the movies. This game receives 8 out of 10 from me. It has its problems, but none of them are game breaking, and in the end you feel satisfied with all the levels and content. Spoilers ahead. I won't go too into the story as this is a movie-based game, but rather talk about the new missions added. In the start of the game there are few more simulation trainings where you fight multiple enemies and learn how to shoot. These are all cool and well done, almost like they could have been in the movies. The set pieces like lobby shootout or alley fight with hundreds of Smiths are amazing to play through. Keymaker part is well designed, and I found it interesting how the mansion was done. It had a lot of doors and fucked up environment. This area also had few of the strongest regular enemy types. The ending is at the same time very funny and different from the original. Creators of the movies come as pixelated Atari characters and tell you how the movie's ending wouldn't fit into a video game. Long story short, instead of you becoming one with Smiths, they all turn into this giant mecha Smith. They pull in buildings, cars and themselves, and then you are left to fight with this giant Smith, who also pulls giant pair of sunglasses out of a billboard. You can't make this shit up.